Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Hiva, and here on my channel I cover recent missing person cases. If you're into that type of content, please subscribe. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's case. Today I want to talk about Tabitha Queen. When I first heard about this, I was shocked at how little media attention this case was receiving, and I was a little taken aback at how law enforcement seems to be handling this case, and you'll see why when I get into the details. Tabitha Queen is a 29-year-old woman from Bastrop, Louisiana. Tabitha last spoke to her mother on Mother's Day, May 9th, 2021, and she was last spotted at a supermarket the next day on May 10th. She spoke to her family regularly on the daily actually, so when they couldn't get a hold of her for a few days, they decided to go over to her house and see what was going on. They arrived only to realize that Tabitha's 3 children were home alone and had been for days. This is very concerning as Tabitha's children are only 10, 4, and 1. According to Tabitha's 10-year-old daughter, a man had actually came and taken Tabitha and she hadn't returned. Immediately, this set off alarms for Tabitha's family. Tabitha would never leave her kids alone. In fact, according to Tabitha's mother, Mary Lunford, she wouldn't even leave her kids alone with family for an extended period of time. Some people question why her oldest daughter, the 10-year-old, didn't call for help or go to a neighbor. I feel like there's so many reasons that could explain this. She could have been scared by what just happened to her mother, this male coming in and taking her, or she could have actually been told by her mother or the man not to call anyone or not to leave the house. I feel like children are oftentimes taught not to leave their home without an adult, so it wouldn't surprise me if that's what she was taught. It may be also possible that Tabitha had left the children alone at times, so they were taught not to leave until their mother came back, and that they thought that this was just another one of those times, so they were waiting for their mother to return. So Tabitha's car was also missing, and it was eventually found in Morehouse Parish by a wooded area. However, there was a gas station nearby that had surveillance video, and when that video footage was reviewed, it turns out that it wasn't Tabitha driving. It turned out to be a black male who drove the car and parked it. Tabitha was nowhere to be seen. I'll enter a snippet of that video here. It's kind of difficult to see. After the man gets out, he quickly walks out of the frame, but like I said, there's no sight of Tabitha. This obviously raises some questions. Who is this man, and was he the man that took Tabitha from her home, or is it someone else that was told to drop off the car after Tabitha and the man that took her went somewhere else? You would think that police would be able to get a fingerprint or a strand of hair or something from the car to identify this man, or try to. However, this wasn't the case. They weren't able to get anything, and this wouldn't be possible unless the man had intentionally tried to conceal his identity by wearing gloves or being extremely careful. And why would he wear gloves unless he was trying to conceal his identity? According to Tabitha's cousin, the man dropping off the vehicle is actually known to investigators. I'll include a TikTok here of the video that her cousin posted that gives a little bit more of a background story.
Good morning, everyone. I need everybody who's in Louisiana to please listen to this. My cousin is missing. She is missing, and we have little to any information on her story. All we know is that her car was parked in a wooded area near a gas station. That gas station had surveillance, and the surveillance seen a man park her car. That man is wanted for murder, so the FBI has gotten involved, but they have not released any of this information to the public. Nor has they showed us any video of this man so we can capture him. I just really want to find my cousin, find out what happened to her and what her story is. If you people can please get this story out, share it, please, and let everybody know that we need to find him and her.
So allegedly, the man is wanted for murder and is being pursued by the FBI. However, according to her cousin, the link hasn't been publicly made. Obviously, this is very concerning. Why hasn't a photo of him been released to the public so they could keep a lookout for him and try to identify him? Also, why would this man take Tabitha, and where is she now? Is it possible that she knew him or that they had a possible connection previously? Even if that is the case, it doesn't mean that she wants to be with him willingly now. Could he have randomly followed Tabitha? We know that she was at the supermarket on May 10th. Was he somebody who saw her there and decided to follow her home and then take her? Her cell phone last pinged in Arcadia, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away from her home. Like I said, in my opinion, law enforcement has been less than helpful in this case. According to Detective Reed from the Bastrop Police Department, they don't have a location to conduct an immediate search at this time, and there was no sign of an altercation in Tabitha's vehicle. I feel like this is a complete disregard of the family who insist that Tabitha wouldn't leave her children. And aside from that, the fact that there were no fingerprints in the car mean that somebody was trying to conceal their identity, and that is suspicious enough to warrant some sort of investigation. Also, even if the police believe that Tabitha left willingly, which I don't believe, shouldn't they be pursuing some child abandonment or endangerment charge, which requires finding her? Another thing I found odd was that on the Bastrop Police Department's Facebook group, a post made by Officer Thomas J. Morgan about Tabitha says that she was simply walking away from her home, and it had no mention of the man or no mention of her kids being alone for a few days, which doesn't make any sense. If Tabitha truly had walked off alone, how did a man end up parking her car? You would think that they would want to put as much information out there about Tabitha's story. However, for some reason, that isn't the case here. Earlier this month, after calling daily and still receiving no update, Tabitha's mother, Mary, hoped that the Morehouse Parish Sheriff's Office would get involved in the investigation. However, after the Morehouse Parish Sheriff Mike Tubbs met with the Bastrop Police, he decided that the case was being properly handled and said that they won't be assisting in that case unless they're asked to assist by the Bastrop Police. After this meeting with the Morehouse Parish Sheriff, Detective Reed said that the Bastrop Police would help out if Tabitha's family organized a search and set a location and gathered volunteers, so that's exactly what they did. On June 4th, a search was held at Pug Street and Hamilton Avenue near the wooded area, and during their search they actually discovered a gun that was concealed in 3 black trash bags. It's not clear whether this weapon has anything to do with Tabitha's disappearance. However, I just think it goes to show that they should have started searching these areas sooner. The search group will continue searching today and into the coming days. Like I said, you guys, I am just appalled at how this case has been handled by the local law enforcement, and I think a big part of this honestly has to do with the fact that Tabitha is a black woman. I looked up some statistics because I wanted to get the exact numbers. In 2019, black men and women made up approximately 13% of the American population, but they accounted for nearly 34% of missing people reported. So that means that 1 in 3 people reported were black, even though black people make up only 13% of the population. Despite this alarming statistic, according to the National Green Party Women's Caucus, many of these cases, specifically those of missing black women and girls, never make it to the media or are ever solved by police. Obviously, this is not okay, and I think we've seen it happen time and time again. I covered Sharitha Morrison's case, and she was pregnant at the time of her disappearance, and we still have no updates about where she is or what happened to her. I think, again, a big reason this is why Tabitha's case is not being taken as seriously as it should be. It's been almost a month since Tabitha's children and family have heard from her. If she did willingly leave, the police need to verify that she is safe and that she is okay, because the circumstances surrounding her case are suspicious and because of her children. If she didn't, police need to find out what happened and where she is. Regardless, her family deserves answers. All of this information I've shared was taken directly from Tabitha's family, but I will leave my sources down in the description below as always. And that's all I really have for this case. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one.